Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight is one of the first weeks of October, and so I am going to offer the elemental energy reading for the element of fire. And fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So if you are an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or if you have fire high in your chart, then this reading is for you. These are general readings, so if the messages do not resonate for you, then that message is for someone else. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like if you enjoy this type of content, and let me know what you think as we go through things here tonight. And I'm going to continue on, as last quarter I was using the I-ching at the beginning of each session, so I'm going to continue doing that. To me it was kind of fun just getting a little bit more familiar with I-ching, so we'll start with that, and I precast the hexagrams, so we'll get started with that. And there are approximately 5 weeks in October, so when I do the tarot, we'll be reading for 5 weeks. So, for fire, we have hexagram number 15, and it is modesty. Hold that up there for you. The text states, modesty brings success. The superior man is able to carry affairs through to completion. So some of the commentary is the hexagram presages success. In other words, success is coming. It's heaven's way to pour down succor from above to shed radiance. Earth's way is to be lowly and work upward. Heaven's way is to diminish what is already overfilled, to augment what is modest. Whereas Earth's way is to transform the full to help the modest to flow smoothly. Demons and gods destroy the full but heap prosperity upon the modest. Man's way is to dislike the full and love the modest. Thus modesty receive reverence and glory. It is a lovely quality. Nothing can climb above it. The superior man makes it his goal. So this is what we're working with, is we're working with this energy of finding a balance between the give and take. Heaven and this context is where all of the positive energy lives, and it's a constant state of flowing outwards, whereas we, being on this little planet, tend to be very greedy at times. And so this energy is like being humble, being modest, living within your means is actually the way to have heaven's blessing pour out upon you. So we'll start working through the lines. We start with the bottom one and go up. So the bottom line is, the superior man, ever modest and retiring, fords the great river good fortune. So no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how much struggle is occurring, what this line symbol is saying is, no matter what, to be the superior person, you're going to ford every river. You're going to figure out a way across it one way or another. But you're not going to do it grandiose. You're not going to be bombastic about, oh, look what I did, because it's just a matter of going with the flow and allowing the universe to really guide you through this process. So the second line says, modesty crowns the rooster. Righteous persistence brings good fortune. It said a different word. We have to edit for the online people. And so what we're really talking about is staying persistent. Getting up early. Roosters are usually the first thing on most farms that are up. The sun pops up, so do they. And they're letting everyone know that they're awake. So it's that constantly staying with a schedule, getting up in the morning, getting a routine down, working through things. So the energy that's coming up is being persistent, not being so much grandiose about what you're doing, but definitely getting up, setting time frames, doing things on a schedule, in a positive schedule. I've got too many notes in this book. And so that's where we're working with here. So for the third line, which is this nice solid stable one, the superior man, exceedingly hardworking yet modest, brings his affairs to fruition, good fortune. When you do something, do it with all your heart, put your focus on it, get it done, do it to the best of your abilities, because when you are working at the superior man, the one who's enlightened, you're exceedingly hardworking yet modest, meaning you're doing your job, you're doing it better than what was requested of you, but you're not bragging about it. It's not that big of a deal in your mind because this is just how you do it. But by doing that, you're bringing everything that you're working on to fruition. You're bringing it into the fullness of what it's supposed to be. And that's where you get that good fortune that comes in, because the universe, God, source, energy is going to reward that in one way or another. It doesn't always mean financially, but it will be rewarded. Hard work in the heavenly sphere is rewarded, even if in the physical world, not so much. So, for the fourth line, we have everything will be propitious for those who cultivate modesty. Again, you're really working on staying humble in what you're doing, but that doesn't mean being a doormat. Being modest in this sense is you're hardworking, you know your worth, you're going along with it, but you're not out there telling everybody everything you're doing. You go through your process, you go through your work, and you get it done, and you do it to the best of your abilities, but you're not telling Fred, Susie, Sally down the road, oh, I did all of this extra stuff at work. That's not being modest. Do your work and go home. You don't need to tell everybody. So your fifth line is, in treating his neighbors, he is modest about his wealth. If he now attacks the rebels, everything will contribute to his success. Don't put up with people trying to bully you, basically. It's really about treating everybody equally, but if you're willing to come up and you're going to try to get in my face, you're going to do whatever, and that can be in business, that can be in personal. It's one of those things where if you're on the right path, the people who come against you really aren't going to be there for very long. They're going to fall away in some sense. But that also means standing in your power, standing in your divine will. And if you haven't worked with that yet, videos to come. But really work with activating that sense of self, of stability, of this is who I am, this is what I am, get out of my way, I've got things to do. You don't have to be rude about it, but you're not going to let someone else stop you either. So for our capstone here, our top one, modesty crows the rooster. Now is the time to set armies marching to subdue the cities and the countries of the empire. So the commentary from the translator says, because the ruler's will has yet to be carried out, it is proper to do so now. Basically, this is the time for you to step up this month, fire energy, and be yourself in the fullness of yourself. That does not mean to run around and be bombastic and be loud and carry on about, well, look at all these cool things I'm doing. That's not what it's saying. It's being modest. In other words, when you do the right thing, you do the right work. Crasher. That's when the rewards will come through. The rewards will come through because you're doing the work. It doesn't mean that you have to tell everybody. I'm getting this coming in saying that no matter what's going on, you're putting in the hard work, nose to the grindstone, you're not being loud about it. There is someone above you, and it could be in a business sense, it could be in a relationship sense, but there's someone watching. You're completely unaware of this, but there's someone else watching, and they are going to push for a reward. They're going to secretly guide a reward. You may not even know who this person is, but they're observing you right now, and this is where some of that heavenly reward's coming through, because they're seeing the hard work that you're putting in. They're seeing this energy you're putting forward. So just be aware in this next month, this month of October, the spooky season, to do your work, do it to the best of your abilities, and really keep your head down. Don't deal with the drama. If the drama pops up, that's part of that stuff you just have to kind of block out. You have a path, you have a goal, work towards that, and kind of ignore the rest of it. So, as I said earlier, when we go through the tarot, I read week by week, and I read a guide or guardian from, and this month, this month, we're using the Crystal Oracle activation, and the message from Source is coming from the Starseed Oracle, and then we get a lesson or a challenge from the tarot for each week, and the tarot I'm using this time is the Angel Tarot by Radley Valentine. So there are approximately 5 weeks in October, so we're going to go through 5 little readings here. Again, If the messages resonate for you, then they're meant for you. If they don't resonate, they're for another person watching the video. And the reason I say guide or guardian, because you might need a little bit of guidance that week, and that's the first card that we pull. Or there might be some struggles, some stresses, things like that coming in, so you might need a little bit of a guardian to kind of keep you safe, keep you sane for that first week. And with the crystal activation deck that that I'm using today, it gives you a crystal, gem, or stone, and also an ascended master or leader to work with. And for your first week, fire signs, we have Archangel Metatron and clear quartz, and that is power. Let's see if I can read this like this. I embrace the opportunity to explore a heavenly relationship in personal power. This supports my spiritual journey to fulfill my desire for the benefit of all beings. I choose to express my power in a way that is respectful, merciful, and kind towards myself and towards others. I utilize my growing power to awaken my boldness and confidence. I recognize the inevitability of my driving fulfillment. So this card actually ties really well into the I-ching that we read, because Metatron is here to help you ascend. He is of the heavenly realm in the Eastern levels, and he's here to really bring forward that strength of will, that strength of character. Clear quartz is a natural amplifier, so whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to amplify the positive. It doesn't amplify the negative that I've ever seen, but it definitely amplifies the positive. So you've got a very strong guide and guardian coming through this first week saying, you've got a lot going on. Let's do this so that it benefits you, but also benefits all of those around you, because it's not just, you don't live in a vacuum. I don't care how isolated you choose to be, you don't live in a vacuum. And so Metatron is saying, as you're going through this, let's work together to build this up for everyone. Your message from Source is lost lands, soul memories, and gifts. You've done this before. No matter what your base belief is, there's nothing new under the sun. That's been said for years. So if you believe in the concept of reincarnation, of past lives, and etc., what you're going through right now, you've done before. And being a fire sign, especially if you're Aries, meaning you're starting over the cycle again, this is stuff that you've went through. They're saying this is the time to learn the lessons. Close that karmic book and say, we're done with that lesson, I don't need it anymore. Metatron can help show you the path with those things that need to be closed, because what they're showing me is you have like all of these books that are wide open, and it's waiting, like, just put the check mark here, sign here, initial here, we can close this chapter and get it out. So this lost lands is, there's a lot in your history, in your past. You've already accomplished this. Why are you rehashing the same issue? Why are you rehashing the same problem? Working with Metatron and Quartz Crystal is a way to help look at these patterns, look at these situations and say, I'm done with that. I've learned that lesson. I know what I need to know. Can we just check this pattern off and make it go away? And that can take some meditation, that can take some time. But this first week is, the message from Source is, it's really time to it's time to evaluate what's going on there and maybe start clearing out some of these older patterns. So your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the 9 of Earth. Enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. If you're self-employed, this particular first week is going to be great for you, fire signs. But they're also saying that this is also the time to remember that no matter what else is going on, don't forget the little things. Whether that's just randomly going to the store and picking up a small little bouquet with a couple of roses in it for your partner, your spouse, or playing with the kids for 15 minutes, or listening to that run-on story that especially kindergartners love to tell. And just, that's little things. Those are the important things. So the lesson, because it's not really a challenge that they're showing me this week, for this first week, the lesson is really focusing on those little things, going with the flow and seeing what little thing pops up. It's in those little details that your memory, and when you get older, is what's going to hang on. It's not going to, like, some of the big stuff you're going to remember, but it's not going to be the everyday mundane. It's going to be the little things. And that's what the lesson is really pay attention to those little things and spend quality time with the people that matter to you. So let's look at the second week of October for 2023 for fire. If this deck would talk to me today, it's being a little quiet. There we go. And we have the Angel Amatiel and Blue Obsidian. Blue Obsidian, to my knowledge, is a man-made stone, but it still works. So we have Revelations. I open my heart to truth. I am willing to see clearly with courage and peace in my heart. I am strong enough to be flexible and accommodate new information and higher perspectives. I trust in the perfect love and wisdom that dwells within my heart. I am capable of growth. I joyfully rely on the higher divine timing that governs the unfolding of my healing journey and life path. Clarity and peace awaken within me now. Blue Obsidian, if you have never seen it, is absolutely beautiful. It is one of the more interesting stones that I've ever seen. And you have Angel Amatiel coming forward. So this is really the second week. It's time to open your eyes. The first week was kind of taking a peek at what needs to be dealt with, closed out, kind of seeing what those karmic patterns are that you're kind of done with, that you've already lived once. Why are you repeating them? And the second week is, as you're doing that, you're going to peel back the illusion. You're going to see more clearly what's going on in your life, and this is the perfect time to do it. October, as the veil thins towards the end of the month, you start to get into this energy of things from the other side are coming through, messages, ancestors sometimes, but this is a time of really working through your problems, getting ready to send them to the underworld where they belong to be recycled, so that it's not coming back negatively every time. So this revealing that's coming forward, this revelation, is it's time to let go of the past, the things that are no longer serving you, those negative memories, those regrets, those rough patches. This is a time to release that. And Angel Amatiel and Blue Obsidian are ways to help you work through and process that so it can be released properly. Your message from Source is the Earth School: life lessons, soul growth, study, and higher learning. Releasing and revealing are two of the biggest life lessons that we will ever experience on this planet. Because when something's revealed to you, a revelation occurs to you, it wakes you up. It makes you aware. And so this planet we're on, this Gaia that we're sitting on right now, is actually tied to a school. We are here to learn. Ra talks about it in the Law of One. There's a bunch of other spiritual teachers through the years that have talked about this planet is a place where souls go to accelerate quicker than normal, because it is rough on this planet. But rough times build strong spirit. And so the school, no matter how frustrating it can be, this is places to learn. So if you can look at these challenges as lessons being revealed, you can process that stuff out and you can get through these lessons a little bit quicker. Doesn't mean always, obviously, but this is what we're here to do. We are on this planet, especially they're saying for fire this month, it's really time to grow. It's time to understand those higher purposes and tap into that. And Angel Amatiel is going to help guide you as you're releasing this stuff, because when you release it, you become lighter, which allows your soul to ascend to a new level of knowledge. So this all ties together when you start to break it down. Let's see what the tarot has to say as a lesson. That card jumped out. Or challenge for fire. We have the Page of Water. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person entering your life, a relationship beginning a new phase, and heightened psychic intuitive abilities. As you're releasing the dense, as you're releasing the challenges, as you're processing lessons, you awaken newer aspects of yourself. everyone's intuition, everyone's artistic side, everyone's sensitivities, so to speak, their clairs, are going to open up in different ways. I know people who have been able to see auras with these eyes, not this eye, for years. That's just what they were. But they can't hear spirit to save their life. There's other people who their intuition is so strong that they know things before it's going to happen, but they can't control what it is. And so what the Page of Water is saying, especially for fire, as things shift and grow for you, your growth is not going to be like someone else's. It is unique to you. Your gifts, your artistic talents, your intuitive abilities, your psychic abilities, all of that is going to be unique. They talk about a new person entering your life. It could be a new aspect of a person as well. So just be aware that there's something new coming in this second week, and it's going to come through as more of a lesson. Like, this is something to remind you of your path and help you process. The second week is really heavily about processing, is what I'm getting. Let's look at the third week for October. Okay, well, that's the one we're using. We have the goddess Gaia, awesome, and Ocean Jasper. And goddess, she was also a Titan back in the day, so very, very powerful entity we're dealing with this third week. Goodwill. I activate the spiritual power that benefits and protects all beings through mutual enhancement, the power of goodwill, generosity, and grace. I plug into the golden energy grids of grace that rise from the earth and provide all that is needed for every being to manifest its destiny. I put faith in the potency of encouragement. I hold an empowered vision for myself and all beings. Ocean Jasper is very beautiful. It's got layers of greens and blues within it, and it's usually been tumbled on the seashore, so it's got kind of a slightly polished look to it. But you also are working with goddess Gaia. Gaia in her purest form is one of the most supporting energies, obviously we're sitting on Earth, that you'll ever work with. This is really a time to understand how she supports you, and as you're being supported, share that goodwill with others. It's not just about, well, I'm being supportive and that's enough. No, it's really not. And that's what she's trying to say is, as you activate the spiritual powers within yourself, which is what's coming forward as your lesson in the second week, as that intuitive, artistic, and psychic abilities, because they're all tied together, come forward, share that. It doesn't mean you have to go out there and be loud. You don't have to do like what I'm doing with websites and all that. And I know other people are doing that too. It can be something as simple as, working with someone, helping them learn to meditate, or working with them and helping them understand yoga. It's something along those lines, but it's what fits within your scope of spirituality and artistic nature. And that's what she's supporting you with. And as she supports, she's helping you bloom. Because when you look at the flowers in the spring, you might water them, but guess what? If you don't, she's going to rain on it anyway. So nature always takes care of its own, and that's what she's saying is you're part of her. You're made of earth and stardust, so she's going to help you grow and blossom into what you're supposed to be. And what you're supposed to be is not something that I'm going to tell you. It's not someone else is going to tell you. What you're supposed to be is what your higher self, your soul, is telling you. So, your message from Source is Hireth, longing for home and homesick for the stars. Gaia's helping you understand who you are, and that could develop, not going to, but it could develop a longing for something that's not here at the moment. That doesn't mean it can't be. It just means it's not here at the moment. Because when you start to wake up and you start to understand that the world's not what the news media tells you it is, there's more going on, and it's much more beautiful than what a lot of the doom and gloom out there is squawking about. You start to get homesick for the whole world to be like that, or homesick to your soul's family, because we do have a stellar family as well, your galactic guides. So there's a lot of this movement that's going on in this third week, because Gaia is helping you grow, stabilize, and support you. But as you're growing and becoming more aware and waking up, you're starting to realize there's something else that you're missing, and it's really making that longing grow. And that's not a bad thing. We always want something better. That's just human nature. But that in this particular sense, it's not just something better, it's something completely outside of what the average everyday, person who's not on a spiritual journey could even begin to understand. So, your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Three of Water. Celebration, wedding, graduation, or birth, the need to have more fun. Dolphins come through especially when you are being too hard on yourself or being too strict or being too structured. And for fire, you're very passionate about everything that you do. This third week, there's a lot of growth going on, and that can create a lot of change. And the Three of Water is saying the little bit of a challenge coming out is don't forget to have fun. No matter what else is going on, no matter how stressful this growth period could be for this third week, find a reason, find a way to have fun, find something to laugh at. They're talking about celebrations. Maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's planning for Samhain at the end of the month, but really enjoy, find something to enjoy. Go out to dinner. If you don't normally do that, go out with some friends, not on a work night, of course, and just have fun, relax, put the worries of the day aside. Yes, we're all on a spiritual journey, but that doesn't mean it has to take up your life 24/7, although some of us have went that direction before. It's not necessary, by the way. So really just enjoy the Three of Water energy in this third week, because it's telling you, don't forget to have fun. Don't forget to enjoy yourself. You're working. There's some challenges coming up. That's fine. But if you're not willing to laugh about some stuff too, what's the point? So that's the message for our third week. And our fourth week guide or guardian is the Ascended Master Lao Tzu, I-ching, or no, Tao Ching, and Zinc Sight. Descending power, the drive to manifest my spiritual light, is powerful and purposeful. Divine light is awakening in my body now. The creative fire in my soul shines into the world, bringing light and warmth to all beings. I choose to live my soul wisdom in simple, practical ways. I utilize my intention to become grounded and in the present moment. Increasing my inner radiance. I apply my spiritual principles to all aspects of my life, and my soul aspirations are realized. So as you're working with this energy, it's really about understanding. It's about expanding. You've been working to clear stuff out. You've been working to kind of set yourself up for success, because success is coming in. The I-ching that we read at the beginning is saying this is the time for modesty bringing success. You've been going through releasing stuck energy. You've been releasing old patterns that no longer serve so that you quit repeating them. And you're working with the energy of Gaia. The reason is fire, you glow. All three of the fire zodiac signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, when they're excited, when they're involved in something, they glow from the inside. Other zodiac signs have a flash of that, but it's nothing like the energy and passion that comes through with a fire sign. And so that's the message coming through this time is embrace the passion. Don't worry about everything else. When that creative energy really kicks up, go with it. That's source guiding you. Creation and intuition, like I said, are like this. They are really close friends, and when you're feeling really intuitive, your creative energy will start to flow, and that will radiate out. That's that warmth that people are drawn to. They want to be there to support. And specifically to you Aries out there, when people want to support you, stay focused on what you're doing because you're great at starting, but you don't always follow through. The energy that's coming through right now is saying you've got everything lined up. People are willing to support and help you finish. Stay focused on the end game. Don't get distracted, and allow that inner fire to grow, because you're going to warm everyone up and they're going to see your vision and help you achieve it. So let's see what the message from Source is for this fourth week. There it is. And we have trust the timing. Trust the way you came in on. Trust the wave you came in on. Timing is not running out. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens when it's supposed to. This is a really hard lesson for fire, because they all want it now. They want to do it now. They want to finish it now. It's now. Fire. Movement. But this card is saying, not always the case. Sometimes you have to wander the wilderness, which you've been doing. They're showing me that you've done this part. This is one of those lessons to release. Now that things are being let go, now is the time to understand why you had to wait, why things were dragging, especially over the last 6 months or so. Now that it's clearing up, things are going to start moving, which is what your personality works with best. So it's supposed to be the way it is. This is the divine timing. You can't push a cart sideways. You can't change the way a flow is going to be. You set the intention, you start taking the next steps, and the universe is going to guide you through the lessons that need to occur for said goal to manifest. And that's what this card is saying, is everything that's happened has happened for a reason. Whether it was a lesson, a challenge, or maybe you just weren't ready for it. Now the things are starting to move for you, and that's that modest success that's coming back through again. Your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the 5 of Air. An unwise choice, learn what you can from the situation and review motives. This is that divine timing part, because you think that it was because of you that things didn't happen right. This card is saying, there's other motives at play here. There's a reason it took longer time. Decisions that were not the best were made, and that did not benefit you. So this is the time to reevaluate. There might have been a well-meaning person. I'm not feeling malicious from this. There was a well-meaning person that was telling you, you need to slow down, or you need to do it this way because this is the better way. I've seen other people do it, and this is the best way. This card is saying that was a bad decision. This is where you look at their motives. Why were they wanting you to copy that other person? You're your own person. Fire energy, you do your own thing. You're bullheaded and stubborn in a lot of ways as the water is, and earth, not quite as dense, but that way. So you're working with that energy of you do it your own way, you make your own path, but for some reason you had this person who had really good intentions that was redirecting you. And that's where you start reviewing the motives. Why were they doing that? Because they may not be aware consciously of their not so great emotions, but what I'm being shown is that this was not an intentional thing. It wasn't an intentional misleading. But it was still misleading because it wasn't your intention. It wasn't your intuition guiding you. So that's a little lesson to think about and just kind of go over maybe why things have taken as long as they did. It's the trust the timing is saying it's your time now. There were reasons that stuff didn't happen earlier, and the 5 of Air is saying there were some ulterior things going on that they weren't even fully aware of why they were doing it. So this is where you kind of reevaluate the people you take your advice from. So for the 5th week and our last week, I believe, this week kind of goes into November, but we'll cross that bridge later, is the Archangel Anael and Pink Calcite. It's acceptance. I have to read the cards down here because my backlighting's not great. Acceptance is my pathway to transformation. Acceptance allows me to see with clarity and make choices that are wise, effective, and healing. I choose to grow through my experiences. Trusting in the blessings revealed according to divine timing and higher wisdom. It's all kind of coming together in this last week. As I acknowledge what I believe, I become capable of attracting inspired solutions that rapidly advance my spiritual empowerment. I now attain higher understanding and access the practical wisdom within, finding the best ways forward. So you're working with Archangel Anael and Pink Calcite. This is working a lot with your heart chakra as well, but this is the time to really be modest, but enjoy your success. This is that success that's coming in. Heaven blesses those who basically work hard and do the right things. And the last week is when those rewards could manifest. They're not saying guaranteed because obviously things can shift and change as we go through the month, but it's really about accepting what has happened. You may not like some of the stuff, but if you're holding resentment, you haven't accepted, you haven't processed, you haven't released. So this is really about now's the time to accept. You've done the work, you've released, you've processed, you're starting to understand that divine timing. You're understanding that there may have been outside energy that was interfering with your goals and your purpose, but now you have the angel coming forward saying, Yes, that's went on. 100%, that happened. But it's time to accept it. That doesn't mean you have to relive it. That doesn't mean you have to say it was right. Accept what happened. By doing that, you're able to understand it, then you can forgive it and release it. So that's the energy of your guide or guardian for this fifth week, is helping you understand how to accept. That way you can process, release, and forgive anything that was going wrong earlier in the month, or for the last 6 months. They're really emphasizing that 6-month period. So whatever's been going on for the last few months, it's time to clean it up. It's time to bring that chapter to a close. Your message from Source is wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven in. Processing that stuff takes time. It's energy that you have to work through. That does not mean that the heavenly blessings are not coming through. It means that if things aren't lined up correctly, they're not going to overload you, and they're not going to overwhelm you by giving you too much that you can't handle. And that's the message that's coming forward. So if things are not quite lining up and you're still going, where's my success? Or where's this, blessing from heaven? Heaven's timing is not yours. Heaven's timing is heaven's timing. Your timing is your obsessive schedule. It doesn't mean that it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but that's just where we're at, is sometimes our timing here doesn't match heaven's timing. And that's where you may be asked to wait. It doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It just means that the timing may not be perfect just yet. So let's look at your lesson or challenge from the tarot. And we have the King of Earth, generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time, confidently accepting opportunities you're offered. The Midas touch. No matter what's going on, even if you're told to wait, you have a lot working in your favor. This card is really bringing forward the lesson of your hard work, your professionalism, your reliability, but also your generosity and your ability to fill in when needed is what's bringing forward a lot of these blessings as well. Again, they're emphasizing you will not know who is your benefactor in some of these cases. And that's what the King of Earth is saying. You do the right thing, other people notice, whether you realize it or not. And that's really the energy that's coming forward. That Midas touch means whatever it is you're putting your heart and soul, your passion, your fire into, is going to come out better on the other side, as long as you're connecting into your guides, your source, and your intuition. If you're doing it against all of that, then things aren't going to go so great. But keep your passion and your intuition tied together, and you have got a lot going forward, a lot going for you with this reading. So with that, I will cut this one off. If you guys are new here, please subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this. Questions, comments, thoughts, even constructive criticism, drop that down below, and I will talk to you guys in a future video.